This was insane to witness, yet it was exactly what Houston needed as they routed the Baltimore Ravens with a blowout win in Baltimore, solidifying themselves back into this AFC South race. And that is huge for this team that was struggling in the first 4 games of this season. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Texans Digest. We're here to talk about Texans football, and I am your host, Donovan Ricondo. And as always, if you have not yet subscribed and you want to stay up to date on all of your Texans content, this is the channel for you. We currently have 2,052 subscribers, and come and join our community of Texan Talk. And so today we are talking about an amazing win for the Houston Texans. This was exactly what we needed, a 44-10 blowout against a Baltimore Ravens team. Although they are depleted, although they are riddled with injuries, this was still a very impressive win for the Houston Texans. It was the first time in franchise history that the Texans beat the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Previously were 0-8, but now 1-8 as the Texans come out with the victory. And the offense looked amazing all game. It really did. This was something that started in the fourth quarter against the Tennessee Titans that I was hoping would translate immediately to this game, and it absolutely did. Shout out to Nick Caley, who got these guys right just in time for kickoff and was able to put points on the board immediately. It started off with a somewhat competitive first quarter. The Ravens also kind of responded to our touchdown with a field goal of their own. Not a terrible drive for them and Cooper Rush and the guys in purple. But that second quarter, the Texans went absolutely off. 17 points in the second quarter. Our best performance in any quarter so far this season. It was absolutely amazing. And not only the 17 points, but shutting out the Ravens in that quarter as well. The defense only giving up 3 points at the half. And after that, it was pretty much over. 24-3 lead. At the start of the third quarter, Texans put up 20 in quarters 3 and 4, while the Ravens only scored a touchdown with a Derrick Henry run. And limiting Derrick Henry today was a huge plus. Limiting him to that one touchdown, it was kind of their only offensive threat that was kind of working. Of course, you have Zay Flowers and DeAndre Hopkins, who had a couple catches, but the Texans defense looked absolutely amazing in the offense, and this is exactly how the team is supposed to look like. Whenever we got Nick Caley, we thought all our problems were going to be solved. We knew the defense was going to do its thing, and it was just the offense, and we had yet to see that in a game for the Houston Texans, except now we saw what we could be. And again, it was against the Baltimore team that had a lot of injuries. Lamar Jackson was not playing in the game. Of course, Roquan Jones also out on the defensive end. But at the same time, you got to take a win when you win, right? The Texans absolutely needed this. They needed something to be happy about rather than just, the win last week against the Tennessee Titans, who are currently winless and probably losing right now. I don't know the score. They're probably going to go 0-5 on the season. So to get a good win against a team that, I guess, has a lot of injuries and is now 1-4, but a team that you seemingly have never found an edge on, right? And having lost to them in the playoffs 2 years ago and having lost to them consistently, this is just a good win to have, especially after the 0-3 start for the Houston Texans. And so I want to take a look at the quick AFC South standings. This is not fully updated. The Titans are currently right now probably losing. The Jaguars play on Monday night, but this is how it looks right now. The Colts had a great game today. They absolutely blew out the Las Vegas Raiders, 40-6 or something like that. And so they're looking really, really good. I'm excited to see us play them at some point. I don't believe we play them until later in the season. So they have a commanding 4-1 lead. The Jaguars are not far off. They could win tomorrow against the Kansas City Chiefs, but they are also the Kansas City Chiefs as a very good team. And so I expect, and still TBD, this is still Sunday afternoon, that the Jaguars could possibly lose to the Kansas City Chiefs and fall to 3-2, leaving us one game behind second place in the AFC South. Now, all of this could have been a lot better if we would have just finished the job in Jacksonville and have won that game. But nevertheless, the past is the past. And now the Texans are within a good striking range to at least get the second seed in this division, and hopefully to make a run for the AFC South division title. And so that is where we currently stand right there with those records out there. Now, CJ Stroud had himself an absolutely amazing day. The best game he's played all season, 23 for 27. Very, very efficient. Again, everything was open for him to pass throughout the field. 244 yards, 4 touchdowns. I think that was tied for the most that he's had in his career. He had a great game throwing all these touchdowns. We even had some rushing touchdowns as well for our running backs. And so this offense was really, really good. 2 sacks on the day, which honestly, I will take. I am fine if we can give up 2 sacks maximum per game. That is okay with me, quite frankly, knowing how much this offensive line has struggled in the past. Does it need to be cleaned up? Absolutely. But nevertheless, not bad. Again, not the biggest, upside considering that this Ravens defense was depleted heading into this game. But at the same time, I'm going to take the win for what it is right now and say good job to CJ Stroud, good job to the line. Still some things to clean up, but overall, very good on the passing game. Now, rushing took a major step forward in this specific game. I think they did a fairly good job of getting some decent yards. Stroud had the one 30-yard run, which absolutely set the tone for that drive as well. Nick Chubb, 11 carries, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. Not bad. 27 long run. Run was his longest. Woody Marks and Dameon Pierce had 7 carries each, 24 and 21 respectively. I'm a little bit surprised that Woody Marks didn't get a little bit more of the load in this game. It was kind of given more to Chubb, and Chubb, to his credit, did pretty well. 5.5 yards per carry, not too bad for the guy who you were expected to play most of the snaps with Joe Mixon out. But I was a little surprised Woody Marks didn't get the bulk of these handoffs. I would like to see him get involved a little more, just to see what he can do for this team, considering how well he did play last week. As far as the receiving game was on point today. It was absolutely fantastic. Christian Kirk, 4 recoveries for 64 yards, 16 yards per catch. And I really, the more we play with Christian Kirk, the more happy I am about trading or about acquiring him this past offseason. He got him because he was a veteran, because he was very experienced, and that was what he was going to bring to the team. And that is exactly what we've seen so far in the games that he has played for us. We saw it since the Jacksonville Jaguars game, and I think that was a big get for this Texans front office. Dalton Schultz made himself very, very useful today. 5 receptions, 60 yards on those. Nico Collins with a touchdown grab as well. Had himself a pretty solid day, 52 yards. Jaden Higgins did pretty good today as well, getting 4 catches. Xavier Hutchinson, shout out to Xavier Hutchinson, 2 touchdowns on the day. His first 2 in his NFL career. That is absolutely fantastic. I'm glad to see him kind of get more involved in this offense and really find himself. Shout out to Jalen Noe, who was able to score his first touchdown as well. And so it's good to see that there are multiple weapons that CJ Stroud can use to score. And it's not always going to be Nico Collins. It's not always going to be Christian Kirk or maybe even Dalton Schultz, who's been on this team for about 3 years now, I believe. And so it's good to find some different weapons that CJ Stroud can utilize, because it's only going to make this offense more of a threat when you know that you have multiple guys that can go and score a touchdown and create for themselves and be open in the end zone and make plays for this offense. And it was just fantastic to see. It was what we absolutely needed to see to see everything literally go well. Kaimi Fairbairn had himself a day. Props to him, player of the game. Honestly, him or CJ Stroud, whoever you want to give it to. He is a 50-yard king. He can hit it. There's a magnet in his foot or something, or I don't know. Glad he's our kicker. Glad he is able to bail us out when we ever need it. I know he's not going to be perfect from 50 his entire career, but oh my goodness, he is absolutely exactly the kicker any NFL team would want. He's a Swiss Army knife. He's a good luck charm. He's a secret weapon. Shout out to Kaimi Fairbairn and the amazing day he had kicking the football today. So kudos to him. But everything looked great for this offense. The defense, again, when you can hold any team in the NFL to only 10 points, it's very, very fantastic. It's mind-boggling how good this defense is. That comes as no surprise. This defense was projected to be one of the best defenses in this league. I don't know if you saw in this graphic over here, in terms of the AFC South teams. It has updated for the Colts and the Texans. Of course, the Jags and the Titans games are either still going on or have yet to be played. But this Texans defense has given up 61 points on the season. That is still less than any of these other teams. Colts through 5 games, Jaguars through 4 games, and Titans through 4 games. This defense is the real deal. We know they're going to show up. We know that they're going to put their best foot forward and put this team at least in a position to win every single one of these games. So it's always gonna go back to the offense in terms of how can they finish and how can they execute on the field. If today was any indication, that is a great thing. It is going to work a lot better. Now, we do have a bye week. We do have some things to kind of things are going to sizzle out. I kind of wish we didn't have a bye week, considering how well we are playing last week and how well we played today. I wish we could keep that momentum going. Unfortunately, I didn't create the NFL schedule like 2 people did. But at the same time, you have the Seattle Seahawks. I believe when do you have the Seattle Seahawks? In 2 weeks on, I believe, Monday Night Football, 9 p.m. kickoff time. You have the Seahawks, and you have the 49ers, you have the Broncos, who just beat the Eagles today, and then you have that rematch with the Jaguars, a rematch with the Titans, and we'll stop right there. So it's going to be a pretty decent amount of teams that we're going to be playing in 4 straight games, and so you're going to have to use that bye week to your full advantage to make sure this offense is even cleaner, that this offensive line is even cleaner, that CJ Stroud is even more confident in being the quarterback and being comfortable back there with the line that he has, and that these receivers, all the chemistry, everything that we've seen today can just continue to get better. Because this Texans team, if we play like that, there's not a lot of teams that can stop this specific Texans team. And again, I'm going to reiterate, it was against a depleted Baltimore Ravens, but if what we saw was any indication, things are going to get a lot better for the Texans very, very soon. And it's all going to start in 2 weeks against the Seattle Seahawks and what should be a very, very competitive NFL Monday Night Football game. And so eyes on the prize there. We're going to have more videos about the reaction and some of the quotes from the players and the coaches out of this game and what to expect for the bye week. All of that's going to be covered right here on Texans Digest. And as always, if you want to stay up to date on all of your Texans news, this is the channel for you. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button below. We're covering the Texans daily, me and Mike, giving you those videos for you guys. So go ahead, hit that button below. We'll see you on the next one.